This is Lansdowne Road, the voice of the fans, and this is the League of Ireland review, match day 33. We're coming up to the end here, folks. David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy, as per usual. A bit of a scattered episode here because of the storm. Got El Storm, Amy, which we're going to talk about in a second. But thank you very much for watching. As always, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. Please do like the YouTube video. Head over to Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. And if you haven't already, please do mind you want to support what we do here, head over to Lansdowne Road Plus. It's $4.99 wherever you are, $4.99. And if you really want to be lovely, please vote for us in the Football Content Awards. We have been nominated as Best International Podcast. So tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your bit in the side. I don't care. Just we want to win that. We're the only Irish podcast in it, so let's win that. Conor, how is it going? God, I haven't seen you in seconds.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, finally we've done a back-to-back recording. First time actually we've done that in a while, isn't it? That we've done this. They always seem to be quite successful. But yeah, good to be back talking about the greatest league in the world after what was a great. Honestly, it was a great weekend in terms of on the pitch stuff. Bit of a mess in terms of the storm and cancelling games on Friday, and me thinking I'm not going to be able to watch any of the games on Friday because the electricity went down at the house for a couple of hours, and then the service went down, so I couldn't even use hotspot when I got to a certain stage. And then, thank God, it came back just before 7 o'clock, so I was able to see the big match on Friday, which was, in fairness, it was a great game to watch. But yeah, it's great to be back in the League of Ireland grind.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming up to the end now, I mean, the league is pretty much finished, but of course, other bits and pieces have to be sorted out. We're going to talk, first of all, here, Waterford against Drogheda, 2-0 winner over Drogheda there. Conor, tell us a little bit about that one.
It's a bit of a mess, isn't it? Really, that Drogheda were in such a good position, slowly starting to deteriorate. Even though it's not really affecting their league standing wise, they're still well in the hunt for top four and getting European place. But it's a massive drop in the points for them, especially when I know they lost 2-0, but Luke Dennison really should have saved that second goal. It was dreadful goalkeeping, to be honest. Well, I wouldn't say dreadful, but it was just poor goalkeeping. And yeah, massive result for Waterford in the context of where they are on the table. Helps them get towards the right path in terms of staying up and not avoiding the bottom two. And first game since John Coleman left. First game Matt Lawler's back in his interim, and they won. So he seems to have great luck once he's done the interim role at Waterford. So it's not really that big of a shock that they got the 3 points, because Drogheda, that sort of team, everyone probably fancies the chances against them. Even though everyone hates playing against them, they can fancy your chances of getting 3 points. So yeah, massive 3 points for Waterford. And yeah, obviously we'll speak with the other game on Sunday, which was probably an ideal result as well for Waterford point of view, but nightmare really for Drogheda as well.
Yeah, I mean, Drogheda really stepping up there. Waterford, nice, and moving away nicely from the playoff, relegation playoff there. They're in pole position, although Galway do have a game in hand. Next up to talk about Derry, of course, 1-0 winners over Sligo Rovers. A huge win for them. It does keep the league title race alive, although they've played 2 games more than Rovers. They look almost guaranteed a cup, league and cup double, but you never know, the magic of the cup and all that. But Derry City, yeah, to keep it going, but let's be honest, 8 titles over, Conor, isn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is with Derry, their top 4 still isn't guaranteed. It's such the way the league is going this season. If you lose a couple of games in a row and the teams around you win, they would be out of the top 4 in all honesty. So it was massive for them just to get the 3 points and cement maybe second place or third place. I think top 3 is where they should be finishing at this stage of the season. If they slipped down to 4th, it would be a bit of a disaster. It would mean they've lost a couple of games that they probably shouldn't be losing. And yeah, it's a game on Sunday you'd expect them to win, because at home to Sligo Rovers, who are a good side, but they don't have the quality Derry have. And yeah, Michael Duffy comes up trumps at the end, because Michael Duffy does what Michael Duffy does. And you got to sign a new 3-year deal midweek, which is the best bit of business they can ever do, really, because we all know how good Michael Duffy is. He's an unbelievable player. And yeah, massive 3 points for them, but nightmare result for Sligo. A point away to Derry would have been a very good result for them, particularly with the position they're in the league, and every point literally counts for them, because when you're down at that stage of the league, like 1 point makes such a huge difference. And yeah, they'll be probably gutted that they drop points, or drop 3 points when it should have been only dropping 2 away to Derry, but they won't be they won't be heartbroken as such. They know it's a lot long from done, and yeah, massive, massive, massive win for Derry.
Yeah, and of course, I mean that. Do we show the league table now? Is
Yeah,
that
go
it?
on. Yeah, because that's all the league games we had.
That's mad, isn't it? So there you go. Rovers top, 2 points. Sorry, 2 games in hand, and of course, they get a point in their next game, which is against Shelburne, their league champions. Mad stuff, really. Derry City second on 54 points. Bowes third on 50 points. Drogheda fourth on 47 points. Pats fifth on 46 points. We're going to talk about them in a second. Shelburne sixth on 46 points. They do have 2 games in hand, to be fair. Sligo Rovers seventh, still not safe from the playoff. I mean, they're safe from relegation, but the relegation playoff. Sligo Rovers on 37, eighth, Waterford on 37. Galway United, ninth on 34. And Cork City having a weird season because, let's be honest, they're going to be in the first division next season, but they're also in the league. They could also have European Cup football or European football because they're in the league of the FAI Cup final, which we'll talk about in 2 seconds. But yeah, the big one for Rovers obviously coming up, Shelburne, Friday. This Friday before the international window comes fully into action. Well, it already is in action, but you know what I mean. They play Shelburne at home. Let's be honest, they're going to get a point at home. They're going to win it, aren't they? 8 p.m. kickoff, by the way, in Tala.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. Yeah, sorry. I thought you were going to say something else on that. Yeah, they are. They'll get a point at home on Friday. I expect them. Yeah, but it is it's probably a more important game than it is for Shels than it is for Rovers. I know you can sort of think, well, if Rovers get a point on Friday, that's the league done. That means they can fully focus on Europe and put all their efforts in that rather than having to wait another week for the league. And when Europe comes back, it's still the league at the same time as well. But yeah, but it's a bigger game for Shels in all honesty, Dave, to be honest with you. Shels need to get top four, like as good as it is, especially we haven't spoke about the European games from last week as well. Getting that point against Hacken was massive for them just to start off the European run with that. And like they need to get top four again for next season, and their coefficient will be quite strong next season. And you're presuming they qualify because of winning them couple of ties, and you think they'll pick up more points anyway in the group. So it's massive that Shels get something from the game on Friday. You think they'd want 3 points, but yeah, we actually we forgot completely about the European ties, didn't we, Dave? When we were planning this episode, we completely forgot that about Rovers and Shamrock and Shels in Europe. But yeah, what did
Yeah.
you think of? Did you think Rovers let the country down with their defeat in Prague?
No, I mean, he rested a lot of players, though, didn't he, for the FAI Cup
Yeah,
final? I think that was a bit weird because, they were playing Kerry on the weekend. No disrespect to Kerry, but you'd probably give it a go, try to get a precious point,
yeah,
away to Slavia Prague. I mean, they're a good side, and they do have a bit of a pig of a European draw there, Rovers. But okay, Bradley obviously threw up the white flag. Thought that was interesting. I mean, he got the job done against Kerry, to be fair. But nah, like they're a very good side in Europe, but we obviously have to remember the limitations. But very unusual from the manager, I thought.
yeah. I thought, yeah, I think it's probably the worst Stephen Bradley tactical performance in Europe in 2-3 years, really. Since the time they got knocked out pretty much straight away in the qualifiers. I think it was 3 years, 2 years ago. Sorry. Um, where he kind of goes very defensive in terms of midfield. He plays the midfielders that are more your runners rather than your fluff players that can keep hold of the ball. And I know it was more due to rest reads and stuff, but I think he approached it quite tactically, um, as well as what he usually would have in these sort of games. I know getting to cup final probably is more important. And Sparta Prague, our top side, we all know that they were in the Champions League last season, and they've shown it there to play some excellent football. It's full of Czechia to call themselves these days. Internationals, so it's no surprise they lost, but I just think they kind of let themselves down with the performance, especially when they even got to go back and they got it back to 3-1 and then they conceded pretty much straight away after when they actually had a chance to make it 3-2. But yeah, that's kind of just how these games go, don't they? But more importantly, what did you think of Shels getting the big point at home to Hacken? Probably because I think a point was a fair result, but they had their chances. But so did Hacken as well, so that's why it's a fair result. But if either team won, you probably would have said it's still a fair result.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Shels need to make their home games count. Really,
Yeah,
so it's a bit disappointing there. You get what you can from the away games, a points, a bonus, but it's a bit like the old-fashioned qualifier. Probably need to look. They're on a good run. They're going to pick up the bonus money, and hopefully make
yeah.
a few bob along the way, get a few wins, because obviously there are win bonuses for the clubs. But yeah, probably
Do
disappointing
you
to
know
be honest.
they made more money from that game the other night than they did for winning the league last season? They got like 300k for drawing a game, which is mad, which is crazy, isn't it? Getting 300k for drawing a game in Europe,
That's
but yeah, class. But
that's but that's the
yeah,
problem with the League of Ireland,
yeah,
isn't it? You
yeah,
know.
it highlights where the issues are, but it does show the
Mhm.
benefit of if you do well in Europe, how much it will reward you. And um, it's great to see actually from watching the game. I think Jack Henry Francis is my favorite player to watch in Irish football. When he came off the bench the other day, he was unbelievable. Just watching, someone just a joy to watch in midfield. And I do think that people talk about Dawson Avoy and Matt Healy being the best midfielder. I think when that lad's fully up to speed, and probably we'll see it more next season because he missed most of this season. Um, we'll see. I think he'll establish himself as the best midfielder and probably the best player in the League of Ireland because I think he's just unbelievable and he was such a top signing for Shels getting hold of him. And I do think Shels can build on it because that point, I think it was the most important thing, as I was saying to you, Dave, it was definitely a winnable game, but the nerves would have been huge for Shels. First ever European tie,
Mm.
especially with the fact it was in Tala and not at Talca Park. So I know it would have played there loads, but still adjusting to a different ground. And Hacken are in a Swedish league is obviously a very good league, and they would have seen Shels as the perfect opportunity to get 3 points in European football. So I think they'll be happy with it and they can build on it. And like was it I remember Joey Bryan speaking in his presser after saying about what was it 10 years ago they were selling Christmas trees in Talca Park and now they have a team that's playing in the European group stages. So it shows how fast you can change things in football.
Yeah, no, for that, best luck to both clubs as well. I know I'm going to get stick over that
No, you don't
from a
worry.
private,
Don't block out those haters.
I have loads of haters from a private text. But anyway, moving on to the cup, course cup final. Shamrock Rovers against Cork City. That's going to be in Lansdowne Road on the 9th of November. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff. And the tickets go on sale tomorrow at noon. And you can get those from the FEI.ie website /tickets. Of course, a massive. I mean, we'll talk about the. Wrong one. We'll talk about the. I suppose we'll talk about Cork City, really. When this game was on, I was flying back, or I was trying to fly back from Dublin, spending a bit of time with Mum on his 70th birthday, and I got caught in Storm Amy, so I didn't see any of this. But Cork City battering Pats 3-0 in Turner's Cross. Shawnee Maguire, a little bit of vindication for him. I know him and himself and Kenny aren't the best of mates, and Evan McLaughlin on the 70th and 72nd minute basically sealing Pat's fate. That is a huge upset. We did say there was a chance that could happen. Kenny has had a really. I mean, first of all, fair play to Cork City. Well done to them because I mean their league form is dreadful. They're going to be playing in the first division next season, but they also could be in Europe. They could have a bit of European football, and fair play to them. But Pat's really, Stephen Kenny, his job has to be in jeopardy unless contractually it's not in a contractual sense and a costing sense, but from a footballing sense, he has to be in serious trouble, doesn't he?
Yeah, really, really, really bad, wasn't it from them?
Shocking.
Like they dominated the game in terms of possession and stuff, but they didn't really offer much. And it was like even though, as I said, Pats dominated the game, Cork still were full value for getting through and winning the game and dominating in terms of the scoreline with 3-0. And it was a really poor performance from Pats. Then players never turn up. Kenny didn't turn up tactically. I don't know what has gone wrong there because especially after last season when we've seen him do so well and we've seen him being successful there, so we don't know why it's all of a sudden not successful anymore, not
Mhm.
positive. At least if they can get big Cork. I know it's a cup game and anything happens in the cup, and it was at Turner's Cross. The atmosphere was booming, and the protest throwing the toilet paper onto the pitch before the game, which was, in my opinion, well worth it in the end because it kind of got the crowd going even more, and the players seem to be have something to play for in terms of proving these fans wrong because everyone expects them to lose, and it sets up an unbelievable cup final. But yeah, Kenny's job is definitely under question now. But the thing is, he's on such a high high money deal on a 4-year deal. I'm sure there's no buyout clause in it that they can get him for less. So unless he would step away himself, but I just think they'll probably just back him even more in the summer, and they'll try and clear out, or no, sorry, summer, in the winter, and clear out half the dressing room and bring in players that he wants, because he has inherited a lot of these players, but the problem is because they all done so well at them, so well with him when he first came in. A lot of them got new deals because he thought they were the perfect player for his system, and a lot of them turned out not to be. So yeah, I don't know how it's going to work in the long term without clearing up shop completely. To be honest, either the manager goes or most of the players goes, and I think in this instance, it'll be the players will have to clear away because the money he's on for Kenny, and because it's Kenny, you don't really sack Kenny in the League of Ireland, do you?
No, I was a major, like at the time, it was a major coup for St. Pat's. I was like, oh wow, here we go. We thought they'd run away with the league. Um, yeah, he's a great League of Ireland manager, and he's been knocked off his perch by Stephen Bradley, and he looks like he ain't getting it back anytime soon. But yeah, he has been in serious trouble. But they'll either have to back him or sack him. You know, they had to spend the money on getting
Yeah.
rid of him, or the money on getting players in to back him. I don't really know, to be honest with you, because is he damaged goods after the
No.
Ireland debacle? Well, it does happen, like you
Yeah,
get
no.
that one move, and then it just messes you up for the rest of your career. So who knows? But there you go. Congratulations to Cork. Well done on them, even though they got
But
absolutely
yeah, quick
mullered in the league.
congratulations to Cork. Looking forward to the cup final.
Yeah, should be good
Yeah.
crack. Looking forward to it. On the
Did you 9th of November? You
9th of
go?
November. I'm gonna
Will we
try.
see?
I'm
See you
gonna
there.
try. I'm gonna try. But I think leave that with me. I'm gonna try. And of course, the other game was Shamrock Rovers battering Kerry 6-1. But strangely enough, not the biggest talking point, of course. That was Graham Burke, wasn't it? For his challenge. He was allowed to challenge them?
Joe Adams.
Joe Adams. To be honest with you, it was a meaty challenge, and there could be an argument that Joe Adams could have been sent off, but Graham Burke should have been sent off for his retaliation. You can't do that. It's
Oh,
violent
it's
conduct.
horrendous. Oh, it was disgrace. It He just slammed his head into the ground, like, and I can't
Yeah.
believe it wasn't given. And as I've said before, if the shoe was on the other foot and Joe Adams had done that to Graham Burke, Joe Adams was 1,000,000% getting sent off, and it's because it was Graham Burke, and he scored twice before that had happened, and he was the best player on the pitch, and he was taking the piss really. Um, he was never going to send him off, like, but like it was the most obvious red card ever.
Mm.
Like, I know you're saying Joe Adams going to be sent off. I don't think it was a red card offence for Joe Adams. It was just a very meaty tackle that was a yellow card where he got stuck right into him, and Graham Burke got offended by it. Not offended, but like he just got uh, a bit
Well, he was
sour over it.
offended by it, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Because you don't
and
do that. Yeah.
slammed his head into the ground. Like, he should have been sent off. It would have been great. It would have been great entertainment to see if Rovers would have still dominated the game completely with 10 men. They probably would have. But yeah. In fairness, Kerry did himself. In fairness, even though they lost 6-1, Kerry came away from that probably with a lot of positives. 1,200 Kerry fans travelled from Kerry up to Tala, and they made great noise. In fairness, and they gave their team great reception. Seen them doing the Poznan after they scored Joe Adams' penalty. And a lot of the Kerry lads actually done quite well. It was just the fact they just were playing the best team in the country, who had so much talent and are used to playing at that level every week and even greater on. So yeah, Kerry done themselves proud, and I think it'll give a lot of people a lot of hope in Kerry that what's achievable in terms of football, and it's not just GA that they can rely on. They can do very well in the League of Ireland, and I think it'll probably next season it'll help them build more and more, because there's, especially when you have 1,200 people that travel up to a game, and sure a lot of the people would have maybe went, I wouldn't say a lot, but like a decent sized portion of people would have went out for the day out in Dublin, and to just embrace it, get up for a day to go away to see what Shamrock Rovers going up to Tal is
Mm.
like, and they probably would have got the League of Ireland buzz off it and would have got hooked off it, because as good as it is probably for Kerry going to GA and winning All Irelands and stuff and getting to All Ireland finals and semi finals, there's not really that, have that football atmosphere where you're chanting and you're jumping up and down and you're singing songs that you don't get at GA. So yeah, I think it'll be good. It's probably the start of hopefully something special for Kerry FC.
Yeah, no, congratulations to them. Massive potential, that club. And I love to see it because it's a huge catchment area of potential, world class footballers in the future. Kerry's a very rich history to
Yeah.
GAA, of course, with football, not so much with hurling. But yeah, no, it's fantastic. And yeah, best luck to them going forward. And love to see them in the Premier Division. Be fantastic to see them in the League of Ireland Premier Division in the not too distant future.
Yeah.
Right. we're going to leave it there.
I think, but just on because you're talking about Kerry growing and us going into a bigger club. I think with where it'll be tomorrow actually, so it'll be yesterday. The budget will be released, and 3 million going to League of Ireland academies to
Yep.
invest in the clubs and go to clubs like Kerry to hire. It looks like it'll be 2 full-time staff in terms of developing players, and maybe be a head of academy or a director of football as such. And
Mm-hmm.
it'll be huge for development areas like Kerry, where you see a lot of their young lads who are very talented have to go and play for Cork because the opportunities you get with Cork City are just levels ahead of Kerry, unfortunately. But I think with things like this, it'll help bridge that gap. It'll help these clubs develop these players, and within 11 years, these clubs will be self-sufficient in terms of academy players, building them up, and you'll see a lot more young players breaking through in the League of Ireland, and it'll be, even though the average age I'm sure is one of the youngest leagues in Europe, it's League of Ireland is, but it'll get even younger because the talent will just be getting better and better. And it's just such a big positive, isn't it, for Irish football overall, because League of Ireland success will lead to international success, and international success might be international success we've never seen before. So yeah, it's great to see this finally coming to fruition, and hopefully it'll prove that the government can trust League of Ireland clubs with more and more money.
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is, and this is what I always have to laugh at fans of other League of Ireland clubs moaning, oh, look at look at Shamrock Rovers, I hate Shamrock Rovers. Yeah, but they're the leading light. Like, do people not get that?
Yeah.
They're the example. You turn around and go, if you got to the government, well, what's the point in investing in you guys? Like, there's no hope for League of Ireland. Well, actually, no, Shamrock Rovers are. Look at them. Okay, they had, they got a stadium from the council, but they have taken that and they have run with it. So League of Ireland clubs should be using them as a case study to get, like, it's just this silly tribalistic nonsense. I get it. We need tribalistic nonsense, but when it comes to off the pitch matters, when it comes to financial matters, when it comes to development, you look at a club like Shamrock Rovers and go, yeah, we need to be like that. That's what we can do. If you give us the same opportunities they were given, we can do the same, hopefully better. And that's for all League of Ireland clubs. Like yourself, Conor, I just want a League of Ireland that's sustainable and at least sustained international success. And we can do it. Masters of our own destiny. It might not be in my lifetime, unfortunately, because this should have happened 40 years ago. But there you go. Well, it's fantastic news. And well done. Look, it's 3 million now.
Yeah.
And I think that's a little tester. Go, all right, 3 million now.
I think it's not 3 million just throwing at them and just work with that. It's 3 million a year in, you're out. So it's a rolling 3 million every year given to these clubs or academies. So I think it'll grow.
And if they do well with it,
yeah,
it'll grow.
Yeah, and fair play to Will Clark and Mark Scanlon and Shane Robinson for putting the best probably piece of work together anyone in FEI's ever done to get this piece of audit done together and showing that, because the reality is, Dave, we all know if there was one little fault in that the government could leech onto and say, well, this isn't right, the government wouldn't have got a penny because we weren't getting a penny before. Like, going from 0 to 3 million is massive.
Yeah, no, fair play and well done to all those involved. Right, anyway, we're going to leave it there. Don't forget, we do have the international window. We're all a bit rushed at the moment because we're getting ready to go to Lisbon. If you're over there with us, do say hello. Martin will be joining us this time. Thank you, Martin. And of course, Conor and I will be live on the ground. We'll also be in Dublin as well. The usual stuff, the pre-game, the ASMAP previews. The only place you need to go to for the international window is Lansdowneroad, the voice of the fans. If you haven't already, please do like the channel. Please do subscribe to the video. Other way around. Please do give us a cheeky little vote for the Football Content Awards. That is all in the description below. The link to that. Best International Podcast. We're the only Irish podcast in there. It's worth.
Don't be like that. No, we respect.
I joke. I kid. Is what I do. And of course, if you want to support us and all of our adventures, head over to Roar Plus, $4.99 per month, wherever you are. It's a great way to support the page and help us do God's work. Anyway, right, we're going to leave it there. I'm David Dunn. He is Conor McAvoy. This is Lansdowneroad, the voice of fans. This is the League of Ireland. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.